The Palakasan System is a unique feature of Philippine politics that has been in existence for decades. It is a practice that involves the use of personal connections, alliances, and favors to gain political power and influence. The system is often characterized by a culture of patronage, where politicians and their supporters exchange favors and resources to maintain their positions of power. It has been criticized for promoting corruption and nepotism in Philippine politics and for hindering the development of a merit-based political system. Despite these criticisms, the practice remains prevalent in the country and continues to shape the political landscape of the Philippines. The Palakasan system, also known as the culture of political patronage, has been a prominent feature of Philippine politics since the Spanish colonial period. It is a system where politicians provide favors and resources to constituents in exchange for their support during elections. The term palakasan comes from the Tagalog word palakas, meaning to strengthen or empower. During the Spanish colonial period, the system was used by the ruling class to maintain their power and privilege. They would provide resources such as land, jobs, and protection to their supporters, who in turn would pledge their loyalty and support. This system continued after the Philippines gained independence in 1946 and has become deeply ingrained in the country's political culture. Over time, the Palakasan system has evolved to become more complex and sophisticated. Politicians now use a variety of methods to gain support, including providing financial aid, infrastructure projects, and social services. They also rely on political dynasties, where families with a history of political power and influence pass on their positions to their children or other relatives. Here's an overview of the Palakasan system. Number 1 is the patron-client relationships. At its core, Palakasan involves the establishment of patron-client relationships. A patron, typically someone in a position of power or influence, provides benefits, support, or opportunities to a client in exchange for loyalty, support, or specific actions. Number 2, politics. Palakasan heavily influences the political landscape in the Philippines. It affects appointments to government positions, allocation of resources, and decision-making. Political candidates often rely on patronage networks to secure votes and support. Number 3, business and employment. In the business sector, Palakasan influences contract awards, bidding processes, and job placements. Those with influential connections or networks often gain advantages in securing contracts or landing jobs over more qualified individuals. Number 4, social circles. Palakasan extends to social interactions, affecting community influence, social standing, and access to resources. It is not uncommon for personal relationships to dictate opportunities or access to certain privileges. The Palakasan system, also known as the patronage politics, is a political culture in the Philippines where politicians use their power and influence to gain support from their constituents. This system has a significant impact on Philippine politics, which can be seen in the following ways. It perpetuates political dynasties where families with political power and influence dominate the political landscape. It limits political participation, as only those who have the support of the political elites have a chance of winning in elections. It hinders the development of a merit-based system, as qualifications and competence are often secondary to political connections. Examples of Palakasan in action. Here's how it works in practice. Political endorsements. Politicians often use their influence to endorse other politicians or candidates in exchange for political favors or support in the future. Relief operations. During times of crisis, politicians often distribute relief goods with their name and face prominently displayed, using it as an opportunity to gain political capital. High society events. Politicians attend high society events with wealthy donors to gain their support and financial backing for their political campaigns. Reform proposals for the Palakasan System. The Palakasan system in Philippine politics is a pervasive issue that has been plaguing the country's political landscape for decades. This system, which is characterized by patronage, nepotism, and cronyism, has led to a lack of accountability and transparency in government, as well as the perpetuation of political dynasties. In order to address these issues, several reform proposals have been put forward. Strengthening anti-dynasty laws. One of the key proposals for reforming the Palakasan system is to strengthen anti-dynasty laws. These laws would prevent family members of elected officials from running for office in the same jurisdiction. This would help to break up political dynasties and promote more competition in politics. Increasing transparency and accountability. Another proposal is to increase transparency and accountability in government. This could be done by requiring elected officials to disclose their assets and liabilities, as well as their business interests. Additionally, an independent body could be established to investigate corruption and hold officials accountable. Promoting meritocracy. Finally, it is important to promote meritocracy in government. This means that appointments and promotions should be based on qualifications and performance rather than political connections. One proposal is to establish a civil service system that is independent of political influence.